everyone and welcome to today's video. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about how does a system admin work in an environment. And I'm going to be taking the Dangote Group as an example of a company or a conglomerate in which someone works. First things first, as a system admin, it's good to always update and upgrade all packages or patches on your server, all right, or on your system. To do that, we use the command sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade and yes to all. And just like that, it will take a few seconds, a few minutes, and all packages are being updated and upgraded. Once that's done, okay, the next thing we're going to do is to check if we've actually upgraded or if every package or patch has been upgraded or if there are still some vulnerable patches, right? To do that, we need to check our upgradables, which we can do by using the apt list upgradables, okay, to check what we have. And as we can see, everything is up to date. Everything is fine, everything is up to date. Next, we would like to know how can we create users as a system admin. To do that, we need to use the command sudo user add -n-s, the name of the shell we want to assign to the user, and the name of the user, in this case Musa. Now user Musa has been added. Next, I would like to add a different user called Ada. I use the same command, but I'm going to change the shell. I want to use the fish shell and assign that shell to Ada. However, because I haven't installed fish shell, I have to install fish shell before Ada has the fish shell assigned to her. To do that, I need to go to my home directory and then I need to look at the bin, okay, LL, to look at what's in the bin. I need to cd into the bin folder and then I need to check if there is a fish shell. I'm looking for it, and as you can see in the F area, there is no fish shell. What's next? Now I want to install fish shell. To do that, I use the sudo apt install fish. And then it's going to ask me if I want. I say yes, that is why. I click enter. And just like that, our fish shell will be installed. All right, now let's check if we have our fish shell. To check if we have our fish shell, in the bin folder, we use the command ll start fish, and as we can see, it has been properly installed. What next can we do? We can now check. Okay, I'm just trying to check other shells. As we can see, we have different shells. We have the fish over there and bash and the likes. Now, I would like to also check, has Ada been added or not? As we can see, they said the user Ada already exists. But I would like to confirm, have I created Ada? And if I've created Ada, what shell does she have? We would like to check if we have the users we deemed we should have. I created Ada and also created Musa. So to check where those guys are, we need to use the command tail etc password. And as we can see, there is Ada and Musa. Ada now has the fish shell that we just installed. So everything is looking pretty good. Just because this is a tutorial, I would like to create more users. So I would like to create two people, Mike and Tobi. So to do that, we will use the same command, but I would also like to give Mike a shell called C shell. This is just a different shell. You can use bash if you would like, but I choose to just show you guys how to troubleshoot in case you don't have the shell you want installed. So for now, let's see if we have C shell. As you can see, there is a warning, an error message saying we don't have C shell. So to do that, we will need to install C shell to our bin folder. All right, so let's do that quickly. And to do that, we will need to use the command change directory cd bin. We need to go to the bin folder, and then just like we did before, sudo apt install csh, which is the C shell. And there is an error. The error is just because I typed sudp instead of sudo. Like I said, I'm trying to show you how to troubleshoot in case you have issues while running some commands. And now we are done. I'll just clear my screen and create some space. Now the next thing to do is to check if I have my C shell installed properly. As you can see, there is the C shell. And following that, we will need to also create the user Tobi. To create Tobi, we need to use the same command that we did use for creating other users, which is just the sudo user add m -s, the directory where we want to, the type of shell we want to use, which is the bash stored in the bin, and then the name of the user, Tobi. And to confirm, we can check, okay, in the root directory, we can check if we have Tobi as a user. Okay, let's see, do we have it? And we see that yes, we do. We have Tobi with the bash shell, we have Mike with the C shell, we have Ada with the fish shell, and we have Musa with the bash shell. Correct. Now we are done with that. Next, we would like to give these users passwords. We will start with the user Musa. To do that, we use sudo passwd and the name of the user, Musa. And then we hit enter. On hitting enter, we are prompted to give the user the password. In this case, I gave him the password, not going to share that. And then hit enter just to retype it to confirm. And just like that, password has been updated successfully. Then how do you confirm that your user has a password? We can use the command, a command where we will be able to navigate to the shadow file. The shadow file has or contains all the passwords of our users. So to do that, we use tail. Tail just shows us the bottom of our file. You can see here that only Musa has a password that has been hashed. The rest have no password. Ada, Mike, and Tobi have no password. Now let's try to give them passwords. Let's create a password for Ada. To create password for Ada, we use the same command, but we will change the name. Instead of using Musa, we will use Ada. We will be prompted to give the password. Even though you can't see what you type, be sure that you are typing something. Just type and ensure to remember what you type. Next, we create a password for Mike. And then finally, we will create a password for Tobi. And just like that, once we are done typing the password and verifying that it's the same password, just like that, we have created passwords for all 4 users. Now we would like to create groups. All right, you could check if the passwords for all 4 users have been created, but we know for a fact that right now it has been created. So let's try to create groups for the Dangote company. So the Dangote company has 2 groups, okay, in this tutorial, the cement group and the sugar group, or we can say it's a department in the Dangote conglomerate. All right. How do we create groups in, as a system admin? To do that, we need the command sudo group add and then the name of the group we would like to create. Now let's check if we have actually created the cement group. Okay, to do that, we use the command tail and we navigate to the group folder or file rather, where we will see all the groups. As you can see, we have primary and secondary groups. So the Ada, the Mike, the Tobi, all those are primary groups for the users. And then the cement and the sugar groups that we have added or we will add, those are secondary groups that we can add our users into. So now we create the sugar group and then we check again to see if it has been added. All right, but we will get an error because we use TEC instead of ECT. All right, that's the mistake. So we have to go back, correct the mistake, and then voila, we have the sugar group created and the cement group created, and also the 4 primary groups that we created earlier. Those primary groups were created simultaneously as you create a user, so that's not up to you. Okay, so what's next? Next, we want to assign our users to groups. We created groups, but we would like to assign those users to those groups. And for this tutorial, I would like to assign Mike and Musa to the cement group, and I would like to assign Ada and Tobi to the sugar group. To assign users to a group, we use the command sudo user mod, that's mod, and then we put the -a and capital G, the name of the group, and then the name of the user we would like to assign to the group. All right, we hit enter, and just like that, we have assigned Musa to the cement group. We will do the same for Mike. We have assigned Mike to the cement group. Let's do the same for Ada and Tobi, but instead of cement, we will use sugar because that is the group I would like to assign Ada to. And then we will do the same for Tobi. Tobi will be going to the sugar group, so why not? Okay, now let's try to confirm, to check if those users have been added to those groups. All right. Let's clear the screen just to have space, and then we can use the command tail, navigate to the etc folder, open the groups file, and we can see that Ada and Tobi have been assigned to the sugar group. Musa and Mike have been assigned to the cement group. That's good. Good job, guys. Now at least we have been able to create groups, assign users to groups. What's next? Next, I would like to check the information of a user. To check the information of a user, we can use ID and the name of the user. From this information, I can see that user Musa has a group, a primary group called Musa, and a secondary group called Cement. He has a group ID, is in a group, and the ID of the group is 1001, and he has a user ID of 1001. So now we have the information about the user Musa. Next, I would like to check information of a particular group. So I would like to check the information of the cement group. As we can see, user Musa and user Mike have been added to the cement group. The cement group has a group ID of 1005. Next, I would like to create folders where I will store all documents related to each group. So I have two secondary groups, the cement and the sugar. I would like to create a folder where I will store all documents related to sugar in one folder, and all documents related to the cement in a different folder. To do that, I will need to run a command called the make directory, which is the mkdir, and then I'm going to put the names of the folders. For example, one will be cement docs. Okay, docs should it should be written this way, and then I'm going to hit enter. As soon as I hit enter, we are going to have those folders created, and we need to check if those folders have been created. To do that, we use the ll command, and as you can see, we have two folders that have been created, and these folders have certain type of permissions, and let's look at what that means. So what that means is we have two folders, which are the cement docs and the sugar docs folders, and these folders have permissions that have been given to owners, groups, and to others. And as we can see, we have the read, write, execute given to owner of the folder. We also have the read, write, execute given to the group, people in the group, and we have the read and execute given to others. How can we be able to change permissions so that we have full permission for owners, we have read and write for groups, but then we have only read and execute for groups rather, but then we have only read for others? How can we do that? So we are going to do that now. We're going to show how we can actually change permission for owners, for groups, and for others. Let's do that now. Clear my screen so that we can see it clearly, and just check it out aloud to see all folders one more time. And let's change the permission right now. To change the permission, we use the command chmod, mod, and then we use 754, and then we use 754. That is the full access, the read and execute access, and then the read only access. Okay, and then we put the name of the folder we would like to change the permission on, which is the cement docs. Okay, I wrote that wrongly, let me correct it. The cement docs. Okay, that's it's been changed. has it been changed? Yes, it's been changed. So people in the others will only be able to read. People in the group will only be able to execute and read, and people in the owner of the particular folder has full access. All right, we can also do the same for the sugar docs, the sugar document folder. Let's do that now. So to do that, I'll first of all clear my screen and then use the same command, which is the chmod, which is the change, want to modify a permission. And then I'm going to give the same permission, which is the 754, which is the full access, the read and execute access, and then the read alone access. I'm going to give that to the sugar docs, and I'm going to check it. And just like that, the permissions have been changed. All right, clear my screen, and I would like to give a user permission of ownership over a specific folder. In this case, I would like to give Musa the full permission to the cement docs. And I would also like to give the group cement a permission to be able to control or use the folder, okay, based on the permission I set earlier. To do that, I need to change the ownership, which is the chown, which is change ownership. Put the name of the person I want to give full access to, the owner, and then give the group, the name of the group. After that, I'm going to put the name of the folder, which is the cement docs, and then hit enter. There's an error. The error says I don't have permission. To be able to change permission or to give me full access to change the permission, I need to try using the super user do command. So now I'm going to put the sudo in front and then hit enter. And after that, I'm going to check if the changes have been affected. And just like that, we can see Musa is the user and cement is the group that have been assigned to this folder. And just like that, we have done that to that folder. We can do the same for the sugar document. Okay, we can do the same. I would like to assign Ada to be in charge or to be the owner of the folder, so she will have full access to everything, which is the read, the write, and the execute. But I would assign the sugar group only the read and execute access, meaning they can only read or execute whatever is inside, but they cannot write to it. And then every other person in the company can only read, okay, read it. So for us to do that, we will need to run a command. What command might that be? I'm going to see it next. Yeah, so clear my screen, and then I'm going to use the same command, which is the change ownership. I'm going to put Ada, okay, as the owner of the folder, put the sugar group as the group in charge of the folder as well, put the name of the folder. We see the same error. And if you remember, the only reason we have the error is because we are not the super user, right? We need to use the command sudo to push or to use a kind of forceful approach to ensure that our command runs. Okay, so we use the sudo and then the command change ownership Ada sugar, okay, and then sugar docs, and we check it out. Just like that, we can see Ada is in charge of the group, and then the sugar group is also the group that has been assigned to this. Now we are done with that. Next, we are going to try to install packages. To install packages, we need to use the command apt install or sudo apt, right? You can use sudo. sudo apt install, then the name of the package, all right, and then -y. Let's try that with a package called Nginx. Okay, we're going to try that with a package called Nginx. And Nginx is basically a package we use whenever we want to launch websites, right? So let's do that now. We're going to use the command sudo apt install Nginx, and then -y. And just like that, it runs for a while, and I'll get to see it. Okay, it's okay. I'll clear my screen just to get some space, and just like that, we will now have to check if this has been installed properly. To do that, we need to use the command. We need to use the command systemctl. That's a command we use whenever we want to check if our package has been installed properly. So sudo systemctl, and then we are going to put the status, and then we were supposed to put Nginx at the end. I forgot to do that, so I'm going to go back, Ctrl+C, and then I'm going to clear my screen one more time. I'm going to type it one more time, sudo. I'm also going to say systemctl status Nginx. Okay, now I'm going to see the status. As we can see, Nginx is active. Can you see it? Right, so Ctrl+C, and how can I deactivate or stop a package that I have already installed? How can I stop Nginx? How can I deactivate Nginx? To deactivate Nginx, we need to use the command sudo ctl stop Nginx. But I decided to use disable just to get an error so that you can see the error. As you can see, this is not a command. We cannot use this. So let's use the command stop. Even after I check, you will see that it's not going to be there. It's still going to be active. I haven't stopped Nginx. Nginx is still running. So for us to be able to deactivate, to stop Nginx, we are going to use the command sudo systemctl. Okay, so I'm going to clear my screen now. Use the command sudo systemctl stop Nginx. That's the command I'm supposed to use. Now you can see I didn't put any super user sudo, and I get an error, authentication error, right? Now I'm going to use the sudo. All right, it's asking me for a password because I didn't use sudo, right? We need to use the super user. To do that, just add sudo in front of the earlier command, and you'll be able to run and see and stop rather the Nginx that we installed. So put sudo in front, sudo, hit enter. Now check the status of the Nginx by using the systemctl status Nginx, and we will be able to see that it has been deactivated. It is inactive. It is dead. All right, well done, guys. Ctrl+C to leave that, and then we can now activate it again. How can we activate a dead package? To activate a dead package, use the sudo command, sudo systemctl start the package. So in this case, start Nginx. Okay, then Nginx, which is the package we would like to activate, and we will check the status of Nginx, okay, which is just changing that to status, and voila, we can see that our Nginx is active. Well done, guys, great job. We have been able to do a lot of things today. We've been able to deactivate, also install packages, or a package rather, in this case Nginx. That's good. What should we do next? Next, I would like to show you, just in case you work in a cloud environment, for example, AWS, Azure, or GCP, and you would like to put in place some security protocol. For example, you want to use Amazon machine image. Whenever you have your server properly started up, put it up or whatever, it's a good practice to update and upgrade all patches. Okay, in this way you'll be less likely to be attacked, by hackers or whatever threat you might have. And once you update and upgrade, you can check if there are still some vulnerable packages in your server or virtual machine. And as you can see, to do that, you use the command apt list upgradeable. And as you can see, all patches are good, they are up to date. And yes, that's everything I'm going to talk about in this tutorial. In future videos, I will also bring out some videos on Git and on other types of coding environment and whatever. All right, see you guys next video. It's Brainwave Alpha. Stay curious.